Thanks to the support as a channel member, Ollie Gunnar Cram. You know how over the last few years we've bought quite a few players on the Never Never and run up quite a significant transfer debt? Well, we're now over £200 million into our overdraft as a football club, and the board have ridiculously decided to remove any remaining transfer budget and slash £1 million a week off of my wage budget, which makes it look like I've been financially irresponsible, which is obviously absurd. What it does mean is we're now in the January transfer window. Our only proper goalkeeper has a £62 million minimum fee release clause. Paris Saint-Germain are circling, and there's nothing we can do to stop him leaving because we can't give him a new contract because we're so far over our wage budget. And even if he does leave, we won't be able to sign a new one because we're so far over our wage budget. So it's nice when that happens, isn't it? See, I don't see that that's a problem. Yeah, we're £232 million overdrawn, but if you look at the long-term financial projection, we need a proper ground. We're way clear at the top of the Premier League. We won it 2 years ago. We're playing in the Champions League every year, and we're hemorrhaging money because we're playing in front of 9 people. That's the big issue here. As you can see, the wage budget is ridiculous. I have already trimmed it back a little bit. So we're actually only about £500,000 a week over our budget, thanks to a couple of outgoing transfers. We've sold our fourth choice keeper, Robert Flatgard, has gone to West Brom for £2.9 million. Matteo Lopez has gone out on loan again. We would love West Ham to recall Jen Carton. I mean, it won't make a huge difference, but we're just not using him, so we'd quite happily let him go. And there are a few players we would be willing to sell. The most notable would be Adrian Mielescu, who, as much as I like him, I mean, I've got to like him. I spent £80 million on him. He's been here 2 years now. He's still not an established first-team starter. He's on £150,000 a week, and Girona are interested in him. If we can get our money back on him, if we can get 80 million and get 150,000 off of the wage budget, it means we can then pump that 40 million or so that we'd get back into wage budget as well. And we might just be in a position to be able to offer Drazic a new contract. As it stands at the moment, I mean, he is on a lot of money, so I don't know that we'd be able to anyway. He's on £205,000 a week. We paid 70 million for him a year and a half ago, and somehow have allowed a minimum fee release clause at less than what we paid for him, which seems insane. And Paris Saint-Germain want him. If he goes, all we've got is Dan Pearce, who we have been giving a little bit of game time to potentially prepare him for this situation. He is a Welsh international. He's not ideal. And then Chris King, who's our third choice keeper, and he's rubbish. So, yeah, we would quite like to not lose him. Realistically, any offers for any player, I guess we have to consider. I mean, we've got Chelsea after Mertens. We've got Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain after Yang. We've got, I mean, Carlos I'd be happy to sell. I think Girona are interested in him as well. There's a lot of players we'd like to move on. That's not even true. There's players we'd be less upset about losing than others. I mean, as you can see, we are cruising in the Premier League, 7 points clear with a game in hand just after the halfway point of the season, and we've got the 3 best players in the league for average rating, and they are our 3 attacking midfielders. As you can imagine, we create quite a lot of chances because those 3 are sensational. We don't want to let any of them go. But as you can see, Drazic definitely doing his bit, keeping a clean sheet in more than half of our games. And I would emphasise as well, he's not played in all of our games because we're giving Pearce game time. So 10 clean sheets from 19 appearances in the league. I don't know how it shows on here as 12. I'm not in charge of that kind of thing. But yeah, the league is going well. We finally have got Mertens and Drazic and Cost all into the Dream 11. There was a point earlier in the season when we were struggling a bit where we had nobody in the Dream 11, but we've got 3 players in there. It probably is the right 3. So yeah, that's nice. We're going to play Porto now just to try and qualify for the last 8 of the Champions League. Assuming we beat them, we'll then jump to the end of the transfer window and see if we manage to keep hold of Drazic, or if not, what on earth we did about it. But let's try and take our minds off the finances for a minute. I mean, it's just not my fault. It's just not my fault. They shouldn't have let me do it. I'm the manager, not the finance director. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. As long as I stick to my budgets, which I was, they lowered that one. As long as I stick to my budgets, none of the rest of this is any of my concern. It's a badly run club. We need a big ground. This is the team. It's Drazic in goal. Maybe for the last time. Back four of Lee, Vidal Santos, Sheerlink and Albinusen, Coppens and Benvenuti in midfield, Romero, Mertens and Yang behind Cost up front. I put it to you, boys and girls, that front four is the best front four in world football. And none of them are older than, I think, 24 years old, I think Yang is. I'm not sure. Romero might be a little older as well. Romero is... Can't click on him. I want to click on him. I want to finish my sentence. Romero he's 25. So none of them are older than 25. So they are currently the best front four in world football. If we can keep them together, they'll continue to be the best front four in world football for the next 4 or 5 years until Romero hits his 30s and we bin him off. I mean, I probably won't be here in 5 years. How many of these players will be? Who knows? Either we're going to win the Champions League, I'm going to leave, and then they'll all leave shortly after because I won't be here to keep them at the club, or we don't win the Champions League, and the only reason we don't win the Champions League is because the finances caught up with us and we had to sell them anyway. So, yeah, here's Yang. Look at him go. What a player he is. He's the one who started it all. The first elite player to arrive with us. You wouldn't know it from the way he's chasing his own right back there and not actually opening himself up for a pass. But Mertens from range almost scored one of his trademark worldies. Having that couple of months off earlier in the season when he was injured seems to have done him the world of good. He's come back refreshed again. He's like the Mertens from the year we won the league, whereas last year he wasn't quite as all-powerful as he was that year. But he's come back into the team, grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, and I think it certainly helped him having to fight for his place a little bit because we were top of the league without him. It's not that I think we proved when he was injured that we've actually got a strong enough squad now that we could survive without him. We just don't want to. And now he's demonstrating that, yeah, you think you can survive without me. Let's take Wimbledon up another level. And that's exactly what he's done. And he's taken this corner short and then plays it over to Sheerlink, who can't get a proper connection under his header. And the chance goes begging. Porto are right up there in the mix, by the way. I didn't realise when I did realise I planned it deliberately. I didn't realise when I decided this was the Champions League game to show you just how competitive it was likely to be. Porto, clearly, I mean, we are 25 years in the future now, so maybe the Portuguese league has got a little better, and Porto are back to being one of the top clubs in Europe again. Cost, what a finish from Alan Cost. It's only January, and that man who in one of the previous episodes I might have described as not prolific has just got his 19th goal of the season. It's only January. That's a stunning goal. He's still not what I would consider an out-and-out, like, poacher-style striker. He's not Kasongo. Kasongo in this team probably already has 30 goals, but the three behind him aren't the best three players in the Premier League on average rating if Kasongo's the striker. So I think Cost definitely adds more to the rest of the play. He's effectively a fourth attacking midfielder, and the four of them just run absolutely rampant. And we should have scored there. But I would be interested in bringing Kasongo back. I mean, if I was offered a swap, Carlos for Kasongo now, I think I'd probably take it because Carlos is supposed to be that more clinical striker, and he's not really. I mean, he scores goals, but he's not as clinical as Kasongo was. And obviously, Kasongo, he's homegrown at club as well, which would be really helpful. Because at the moment, in fact, no, I think, yeah, Mialescu is now in the Champions League squad. We have now got everybody registered. But first half of the season, Mialescu couldn't get registered in the Champions League squad because we had too many non-homegrown players as usual. But I think that's a problem that should be behind us now. I think Jaramillo becomes homegrown at club this summer. Possibly Cost does as well. How is he? Does he? He's not going to become homegrown at club. That's a shame because I mean he's been here 3 years. Likewise, Mertens. We must have just got these boys a little bit too old. like 6 months late. Otherwise, they'd be homegrown at club. We had them as 19-year-olds, but counts for... I mean, we've done so much to their development. The rules should be changed to make the game easier for me. I think we can all probably agree on that. As it stands right now, look, we are top of the Champions League. We are the greatest team in European football history. We are struggling to find a second goal today. Romero is going to come off. Carlos will come on. Cost drops out to the left-hand side, which he does quite often. And let's see if Carlos can do one of two things. We either want him to score a goal and prove me wrong and show that he is actually a prolific goal scorer, or at the very least, put himself in the shop window so someone comes in and makes me a big offer for him so that we can use the money from him to finance a new contract for Drazic, which would be the ideal, because obviously we don't want to lose Drazic. We have got the youngster Williams, the English wonder kid, who could be our backup striker for the rest of the season. I mean, if it wouldn't be ideal, because if we got a proper injury to Cost and lost him for a number of months, we wouldn't want to play Williams up front. We'd probably end up with Mertens up there or Yang up there, and shuffle things around slightly differently. But at the moment, Carlos isn't playing a lot of football. And this is a lovely finish from Cost, by the way. It's good work from Carlos, but it's a lovely finish from Cost. He scores goals whatever position we put him in now, and we've been training him for 8. He came in natural on the right as well as up front. We've made him natural on the left as well, I think. Is he natural on the left now? He's only accomplished on the left, but we've been training him to play on the left pretty much since he arrived, so that we had him to cover across as many positions as possible. Right, let's get Yang off. Javier Hernandez, by the way, probably should mention him. You don't see him very much because he doesn't play in the big Champions League games, but in the Premier League, this boy's having a nice time. And for Mexico, 4 goals from 3 caps for Mexico. He's only started 5 games, but 7 goal contributions, so 7.23. He is getting better and better, and he's the next one off the production line of really, really talented attackers. So I guess if we had to sell Carlos and then Cost got injured, I imagine in these circumstances we put Yang up front and bring Hernandez into the team because he's ready. He's 4 stars of current ability. He's ready to be playing. There was someone in the comments, I think yesterday, saying, when are you going to sign Unlove? And put him where? We're stacked with wingers. We don't need him. But yeah, Hernandez looking very good as well. And we are now comfortably 3-0 up. It's good to see Jaramillo getting more game time as well, because like I say, he's going to be very important to our future. Not necessarily because he's ever going to be a regular starter, but he's very versatile. He can play anywhere across the back 4 and in defensive midfield, and he's going to be homegrown at club. So he's going to get 30 games a season just through that versatility and guaranteed squad spot. Oh, that's a good header from Carlos, and that's 11 for the season for him now, which is not bad at all as a fringe player, and it's such a good header, and we have absolutely ripped Porto apart in this match. Cost has been exceptional since moving out onto the left-hand side, and he's returned the favour to Carlos, who of course played the crossover for him for his second. It's 4-0. Look at the match stats. We have absolutely dominated. If we don't win the Champions League this season, boys and girls, then the only explanation could be, the only thing that can go wrong now is Drazic leaving, and it's having to try and do it without a goalkeeper, which would be a fun challenge, but that should be us qualified for the last 8. So next episode will be that last 8 game. Not, is it last 8 or last 16? Top 8. The terminology is confusing. Yeah, we've qualified for the top 8, which gets us to the last 16. So that will be tomorrow's episode. But now, let's see if we survive January. And I guess we'll do Man United in the Premier League, because they are still, I mean, they're not one of our closest rivals anymore. They were good earlier in the season, but Man United just after the window closes makes a lot of sense. Fingers crossed we still have Drazic for it, please. Well, you'll be delighted to know we did survive the month with no transfer offers coming in for Drazic. There was a little bit of business that we did. We realised we still had Mehdi Asghari knocking around in the reserves. He was out on loan. I forgot he came back, so we've sent him out again. So we got his wages off the wage bill. We've also sent Daniel Williams out on loan. Reading are paying his full salary. So he's getting some game time, some development, and saving us some money as well. And then most importantly of all, we just had a big bunch of money from Newcastle for Esqueda, another £23 million as part of the deal that took him to Newcastle in the summer. 87 million that has now gone up to, which is quite a large transfer, which meant we got like 11 million into our transfer budget. We've immediately shoved it all into wage budget, offered Drazic a new contract that doesn't have a release clause, which fingers crossed he should be signing any day now. And we've also offered a new contract to to Lee, who has got a grumpy on because he's only earning 56 grand a week. And I think it's fair. We tried to tell him, wait till the end of the season. He was not having any of it. But now we can offer him a new deal as well. So those two should both have new contracts signed in the next couple of days. I didn't come back from Manchester United in the league. Probably should have done because we lost it. And it's the first defeat we've had since like August. So it was actually a competitive game. I don't count Leipzig. We put the reserves out in that game. But we also qualified for the EFL Cup final, so I figured that was a more interesting game against Manchester United to show you the Premier League should be won at this stage. 11 games to go. We're 10 points clear. That should be all but wrapped up. But today, we'd like to win a piece of silverware. The Carabao Cup, which I don't think the club have ever won in their history. I certainly haven't won it, so it's a new one for me. It'll be a new one for them. And this is the team we're putting out there. Drazic, hopefully, last game he's playing before he signs his new contract in goal. We are rotating a little bit just because we want to get some big game experience into some of the players we've got long-term plans for. So Jaramillo starts at left back alongside, and then in Gustavo Fayao and Lira, Ernesto Lira, who is getting better all the time. He is knocking on the door of the first team. He starts alongside Fayao and De Los Santos at right back. So I rotated back four, but then Coppens and Benvenuti in midfield, Romero and Mertens as typical starters. Hernandez is going to get a start again, very much banging on the door, and Cost will start up front. Let's get the team submitted. All eyes on that back four because it is, I mean, De Los Santos is probably going to be leaving this summer. He has already said, weirdly, his reason for leaving isn't that he's lost his place in the team, it's that he wants to play for a bigger club. We're the best team in the Premier League. I think there's a good chance we win the Premier League and the Champions League this year, but he wants to join a bigger club. So we'll let him go. But certainly Lira and Jaramillo are ones for the future. Lira won't ever become homegrown because we signed him too late and he's had a couple of loans. But Jaramillo does become homegrown this summer. That's a good cross from him. And two of our youngsters combining. It's Jaramillo with the cross. It's Hernandez with the header. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon against Manchester United in the Carabao Cup final. And that's why you rotate, boys and girls. You want to give these young players a little bit of game experience. It's a big game at Wembley, but ultimately, one that it doesn't matter if we lose. But it matters to Hernandez and Lira and Jaramillo and these young lads who, I mean, I probably should have played Dan Pearce in goal, who is another one who wants to leave to play more game time to get into the Welsh national team. I had a look to see who the Welsh national team goalkeeper was. Wales's goalkeeper is Liverpool's starting keeper for the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't think it matters where Dan Pearce goes or if I give him all the game time he wants. He's a 2.5-star goalkeeper. He's not getting past the guy who plays week in, week out for Liverpool. So he probably needs to temper his expectation a little bit. Cost couldn't quite get onto that one and accept that he's got a pretty good thing being first reserve to a legendary goalkeeper here at Wimbledon in Drazic, who is officially classed as a legendary goalkeeper now in game, but being first reserve to him and first reserve to Liverpool's keeper for Wimbledon, whilst earning a good salary, he's still only 23. He just has to bide his time. Give it 5 years. Drazic will be gone from here. The Liverpool guy will be gone from Wales, and if he's good enough, he'll get into both teams. I mean, spoilers. I hope he's not listening. Cover your ears, Dan. He isn't getting into my team. That's for sure. When Drazic is done, I'd like to think that we'll sign another 4.5-star current ability goalkeeper, not some clown who can't even get in goal for Wales. But that's not what we're telling him, because it's handy having a homegrown player sat on our bench as our backup keeper. Unfortunately, he's not homegrown at club, which is annoying. I think he was signed before I arrived, and he is still quite young. But he actually came through the youth system at Everton. Maybe I did. How long have I? No, I didn't. I've not been here 5 years, have I? I think this is my 4th year. So he was signed the year before I arrived. Again, annoyingly, as another 19-year-old. So many of these youngsters have arrived at Wimbledon as 19-year-olds. We definitely need a change to the rules, because if we had a change to the rules, we'd have like 5 homegrown at club players now. But apparently that's not how it works. And annoyingly, most of them aren't even classed as homegrown in England, despite, again, for Mertens, for Cost in particular, all their development has taken place in England at Wimbledon. But this is lovely football from this makeshift back four. Look at this. But yeah, neither of them count as homegrown on either criteria, which is just silly. Right, Mertens back to Benvenuti. Benvenuti out to De Los Santos. De Los Santos tries to drill it across goal. It takes a deflection, goes behind for a corner. But that little passage of super calm passing from our defenders. I mean, on another day, it doesn't. Oh, it's a shenanigans corner. On another day, it doesn't work. And I'm cursing them for giving the ball away. But to do that in a final at Wembley against a team who were the last team to beat us, that's pretty impressive stuff from Jaramillo and Lira in particular, who were involved in that little short passing sequence to knock the ball around the Manchester United attackers. I mean, let's not do too many passes like that one. We're getting a little bit too big for our boots. I think we are gifting them a goal today at some point, because some of this passing, I mean, there's some lovely passes like that. We are very comfortable on the ball, but you can't have pinpoint accuracy all the time. And if we keep playing it across our own goal the way we are today, we are going to give them chances. But Hernandez has just been given a chance, and he has his second goal of the game. I tell you, the boy is ready. Do we sell Yang? Newcastle were linked with him on deadline day, an £80 million deal. I feel like because we got more than that for Esqueda, I want 100 million plus for Yang. But if Newcastle want him, Hernandez is ready to step up, I think. It does, and it would solve a lot of our money problems, getting a huge transfer fee for somebody. So, yeah, maybe in the summer. If we don't win the Champions League this year, that's going to be a conversation we need to have. Fingers crossed, this is the squad now, and we never have to do another transfer, because fingers crossed we win it this year. I mean, you've seen the way we're playing. We're a very good football team. We're not losing Drazic. The only thing that can cost us now, you would think, would be a collection of injuries to key players. Like if we got an injury to Drazic, to Coppens, to Mertens, to Cost, if that spine of the team all got injured, then yeah, maybe we're not going to win the Champions League. But I think we've survived without most of them at various points this season. Not all at the same time, though. And we are still a very, very good team. I mean, we're showing today just how good our second string back four is, which is lovely to see. Right. I think it's time to make some substitutions. Let's take Romero off. He's got tired little legs. Carlos can come on for him. Cost goes out onto the left again. Coppens comes off. We're going to give De Hertfeld a game. Again, get the young players involved in these big games. He's only played 3 substitute appearances for us previously, but get him on in the big game. We are going to, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring on Lee, and we're going to play Jaramillo in midfield, because that lets De Hertfeld play as the playmaker where he wants to be. Lee can come on at left back, and it tries Jaramillo in a different position then. And he has got that versatility to just move around and play everywhere that we could possibly want him to play. So let's try him in midfield. That way we don't have to play either Mialesko or De Hertfeld in that ball-winning midfielder role that they're not going to be very good at. Right, Mertens is tired now. Let's get him off. You never leave him on longer than you have to. Dylan comes off. Cost and Hernandez both tired. I mean, Hernandez can play the game out. He's more of a rotation player. Anyway, I want to bring Undai on. Carlos can play on the wing. None of them can play on the left wing. Carlos is just going to have to go out there. But Undai at 6'6", we've only ever brought him on as an attacking midfielder before. But in fact, we are training Hernandez to play left wing at the moment. So let's get him some game time on the left wing. And Undai can come on up front. You'd think we were 5-0 up, and it was a friendly match the way the team is looking now. I mean, it started with a rotated defence. It's very rotated everywhere now. I don't think there's the only player on the pitch who would be in my normal, I guess Lee is actually another one. So there's Lee and Drazic are the two players who would get into what I would consider my first 11. And we're still playing quite well, which is jolly nice. Carlos gets in behind, plays it across, and I mean, it's gone in off the goalkeeper, I think. It's gone down as an own goal, and that should be the rubber stamp unless it's getting disallowed for offside. Carlos, questions of offside for him. Did he stay on? He did. That should be that. I think we've got a trophy, boys and girls, with our very rotated, very young team. That's Jaramillo playing the ball forward to Carlos. He's going to be quite some player. Look at the... I mean, he's man of the match, apart from Hernandez. He's been the second best player on the pitch for us. His main position, when we signed him, he was a natural centre-back. He's played 2 positions today, neither of which are that one, and posted a 7.5 in a Wembley final against Manchester United. So he's going to be all right, I think. De Hertfeldt plays it back to Lira, who's just had a quiet under-the-radar game. He's only showing us a 6.3, but I've not noticed him do anything nonsense. I just don't think he's had much to do. Lee plays it forward to Hernandez, who's out on that left-hand side now. Hernandez trying to beat his man, puts it up in the air for Dylan. It falls to De Hertfeldt, who is another one of our young Belgian players, by the way. He's the latest Belgian to come through. And yeah, it's fired wide, but I think that was Dylan who got the shot away at the end there. But it is trophy o'clock. You'll be glad to know, boys and girls, I have, of course, produced a custom Lego trophy just for this occasion. So we'll get ready to lift this in a second. Coppens would probably be in the starting 11 normally. He wasn't on the pitch at the end. Has Coppens come back on to lift the trophy? Because he wasn't on the pitch at the end of the match, was he? It was Jaramillo and De Hertfeldt in midfield. There you go. Another trophy. The big one. The Carabao Cup. If we win nothing else this season, we'll always have this, boys and girls. And now the focus for the rest of the season is 100% on the Champions League plus 30% Premier League. I think we're good enough to do 130%, I think. We'd obviously like to win the Premier League. The main goal, though, is the Champions League. We don't even know who we're playing yet in the round of 16, but that will be the next episode. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much to my beautiful Patreon backers. And thank you very much for watching.